First contact. The day Earth's skies filled with alien ships was the day humanity realized it wasn't alone in the universe. It was also the day the rest of the galaxy realized humans were unlike anything they'd ever encountered before. Admiral Zexera of the Galactic Confederation stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Celestial Harmony, gazing down at the blue-green planet below. Her tentacles twitched nervously as she considered the volatile species they were about to contact. "Are you certain about this, Admiral?" her second-in-command, Commander Vril, asked. "The data we've gathered suggests these humans are unpredictable at best, dangerously unstable at worst." Zexera's compound eyes blinked in sequence. "The Confederation Council has made its decision. Vril, Earth sits on a strategic hyperspace junction. We need them as allies, or at least as a neutral party. We can't risk them aligning with the Void Collective." Vril's exoskeleton rattled in a gesture of resigned agreement. "Very well. Shall we commence the standard first contact protocol?" Before Zexera could respond, alarms blared across the bridge. "Admiral," a sensor operator called out, "we're detecting multiple missile launches from the planet's surface." Zexera's tentacles coiled tightly. "Evasive maneuvers. Activate defensive shields." The Celestial Harmony and its escort ships danced through space, narrowly avoiding the barrage of primitive nuclear weapons. As the immediate danger passed, Zexera felt a mix of fear and fascination. These humans had just attempted to destroy a vastly superior force without hesitation. "Perhaps," she mused, "we should reconsider our approach." Down on Earth, in the hastily assembled United Earth Defense Command Center, General Elena Rodriguez slammed her fist on the conference table. "What do you mean our nukes didn't even scratch them? Those are our most powerful weapons." A young analyst cleared his throat. "General, based on our observations, their technology appears to be centuries ahead of ours. Our current arsenal is ineffective." Elena closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. "So, we've just punched a giant we can't hurt, and now we have to hope they don't punch back. Fantastic." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's first interaction with an alien species had been an act of aggression, one that had failed spectacularly. "Ma'am," a communications officer interrupted, "we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet. They're requesting to establish diplomatic contact." Elena raised an eyebrow. "Well, that's unexpected." Patch them through to the main screen. The large display flickered to life, revealing Admiral Zexera's alien visage. The assembled humans gasped, some in awe, others in terror. "Greetings, people of Earth," Zexera began, her words translated by advanced software. "I am Admiral Zexera of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace, despite your enthusiastic welcome." Elena stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "This is General Elena Rodriguez of Earth's United Defense Command. I apologize for our reaction, but you must understand. Your unannounced arrival was quite a shock." Zexera's tentacles waved in what Elena hoped was an understanding gesture. "We acknowledge our error in not considering your species' tendency towards fight-or-flight responses. Perhaps we can start anew." As the conversation continued, both sides realized the enormity of the cultural gap between them. The aliens struggled to comprehend human idioms and emotional responses, while the humans found the aliens' logical, hive-mind-like thought processes alien. Watching from the sidelines was Dr. Aiden Chen, a linguistic anthropologist hastily brought in to assist with the negotiations. As the talks threatened to break down over seemingly trivial misunderstandings, Aiden felt a crazy idea forming. "General Rodriguez," he whispered, "I have a suggestion. It's unconventional, but it might just work." Elena, frustrated by the lack of progress, nodded. "At this point, Dr. Chen, I'm open to anything." Aiden stepped forward, addressing both the human leaders and the alien delegation on the screen. "Admiral Zexera, esteemed representatives of Earth, I propose we take a different approach. Instead of formal negotiations, why don't we invite the Admiral and a small delegation to experience Earth culture firsthand? The room erupted in murmurs and exclamations. Zexera's alien features contorted in what might have been confusion. "You suggest a cultural exchange?" the Admiral asked. Aiden nodded enthusiastically. "Exactly. We can show you our cities, our art, our music. You can taste our food, watch our sports, maybe even try dancing. It's one thing to talk about humanity, but to truly understand us, you need to experience what makes us, well, human." General Rodriguez looked skeptical but intrigued. "Dr. Chen, are you suggesting we base our first interstellar diplomatic relations on a field trip?" "Precisely," Aiden grinned. "After all, isn't diplomacy just the art of getting to know each other?" To everyone's surprise, Admiral Zexera's translator conveyed a sound that could only be interpreted as laughter. "In all my cycles of diplomatic service, I have never received such a proposal. It is refreshingly direct." "Very well, Dr. Chen. We accept your invitation." And so began one of the strangest diplomatic missions in galactic history. A small delegation of aliens, led by Admiral Zexera, descended to Earth under heavy guard and even heavier media scrutiny. Their first stop was New York City. The aliens marveled at the towering skyscrapers, a testament to humanity's determination to challenge the very sky. Zexera was particularly impressed by the diverse crowd in Times Square, each individual dressed uniquely, moving with purpose. "How do you maintain order with so much individuality?" she asked Aiden. He chuckled. "That's the beauty of it, Admiral. We don't always maintain order. Sometimes chaos breeds creativity." The delegation was then treated to a Broadway show. The aliens sat in stunned silence as humans on stage sang, danced, and told a story of love and loss. Aiden noticed a strange shimmer in Zexera's compound eyes. "Admiral, are you crying?" he asked gently. Zexera's tentacles curled in embarrassment. I do not understand. These humans on stage, they are not truly experiencing these emotions, correct? They are pretending." Aiden nodded. "We call it acting. It's an art form. But I feel moved, as if their pretend emotions are causing real emotions in me." "How is this possible?" Aiden smiled. "That, Admiral, is the power of human empathy and artistic expression." Their next stop was a small town in the Midwest. Here, the aliens experienced a county fair, complete with carnival rides, livestock exhibitions, and pie-eating contests. Commander Vril watched in horror as humans strapped themselves into metal contraptions that spun in loops at high speeds. They subject themselves to this willingly. For fun. "Absolutely." Aiden laughed. "Want to try the Ferris wheel? It's a bit calmer." As the alien delegation slowly rotated high above the fairground, taking in the patchwork of farmland stretching to the horizon, Zexera turned to Aiden. "Your species is full of contradictions, Dr. Chen. You build mighty cities, yet you also cherish these open spaces. You create art that moves emotions, yet you also enjoy simple pleasures like this rotating wheel." Aiden nodded. "Humans are complex, Admiral. We're capable of great achievements and simple joys, of love and hate, of war and peace. Our strength lies in our diversity and our ability to adapt." The final stop on their whirlwind tour was a small, secluded beach. As the sun set, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and pink, the aliens and their human guides sat around a bonfire. "In all my years exploring the galaxy," Zexera said softly, "I have never encountered a species quite like humanity. You are chaotic, emotional, and often illogical. Yet you are also innovative, resilient, and surprisingly unified in your diversity." General Rodriguez, who had been quietly observing throughout the tour, spoke up. "Admiral, I must know. Why did you really come to Earth? Surely it wasn't just for our strategic location." Zexera was quiet for a moment, her alien features unreadable in the flickering firelight. "The galaxy is facing challenges, General. Ancient threats are stirring, and the Confederation believes that new perspectives are needed. Your species, with its unique way of thinking, might just be the key to our survival." The humans exchanged glances, the weight of this revelation settling over them. Aiden leaned forward, his eyes reflecting the dancing flames. "So, Admiral, where do we go from here?" Zexera's tentacles moved in a pattern that the humans had come to recognize as a smile. "Now, Dr. Chen, we invite you to the stars. The Galactic Confederation extends an invitation to Earth to join us. There is much we can learn from each other." As the fire crackled and the waves lapped at the shore, humans and aliens alike gazed up at the star-filled sky. The universe had just become a much larger, more complex place. But with that complexity came opportunity, a chance for humanity to prove its worth among the stars. The first contact had been rocky, filled with misunderstandings and near disasters. But through persistence, openness, and a willingness to embrace the unknown, both humanity and the Galactic Confederation had taken their first steps towards a shared future. As Aiden looked around at the unlikely gathering, soldiers, scientists, and alien diplomats all sharing stories and roasting marshmallows, he couldn't help but smile. The journey ahead would be challenging, but if this moment was any indication, it would also be incredibly rewarding. The stars above seemed to twinkle with new possibility, as if welcoming humanity to a grander stage. The greatest adventure in human history was about to begin, and it had started not with grand speeches or formal treaties, but with a simple invitation to experience life as humans did, with all its beautiful, chaotic complexity. The Galactic Challenge. 6 months after Earth's historic first contact, humanity found itself thrust onto the galactic stage far more quickly than anyone had anticipated. The celestial harmony, now a familiar sight in Earth's orbit, had become a hub of frenetic activity as it prepared for a monumental event. Dr. Aiden Chen stood in the ship's observation deck, gazing down at the blue marble he called home. Admiral Zexera glided up beside him, her tentacles swaying gently in the artificial gravity. "Are you prepared for what lies ahead, Dr. Chen?" the alien asked, her multifaceted eyes reflecting pinpricks of starlight. Aiden chuckled nervously. "As prepared as we can be, Admiral. Though I must admit, when you said the galaxy was facing challenges, I didn't quite expect this." The galactic confluence is a rare event, occurring only once every 1,000 cycles, Zexera explained. It is an opportunity for species across the galaxy to showcase their unique abilities and contribute to the greater good. Aiden nodded, recalling the briefing. The galactic confluence was part competition, part collaborative problem-solving event. Species from across the Confederation would face a series of challenges designed to test their limits and foster cooperation. The ultimate goal was to generate solutions to pressing galactic issues. "And you really think humanity is ready for this?" Aiden asked, voicing the doubt that had been gnawing at him. Zexera's tentacles formed what Aiden had come to recognize as a reassuring gesture. "Your species has already surprised us in many ways, Dr. Chen. I have faith that you will continue to do so." As if on cue, the ship's intercom crackled to life. "Attention all delegates, we will be entering hyperspace in 5 minutes. Please secure yourselves and prepare for transit." Aiden took a deep breath, steeling himself for the journey. As the stars outside blurred into streaks of light, he couldn't help but wonder what challenges awaited humanity at the edge of known space. The galactic confluence took place on a massive space station orbiting a neutron star. As the celestial harmony docked, Aiden and the rest of the Earth delegation gaped in awe at the diversity of alien life forms streaming into the station. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions moved through the docking bay, some floating, some crawling, others shifting form as they moved. General Elena Rodriguez, who had insisted on joining the delegation, leaned in close to Aiden. I'm starting to think our nuclear missiles were even less impressive than we thought, she muttered. Aiden suppressed a laugh. Let's just hope our other qualities make up for our lack of firepower. The opening ceremony was a spectacle unlike anything the humans had ever witnessed. Holographic displays larger than cities showcased the history and achievements of each participating species. When Earth's turn came, Aiden felt a swell of pride as humanity's journey from cave paintings to space exploration played out before the galactic audience. As the ceremony concluded, a being of pure energy floated to the center of the vast amphitheater. This was High Arbiter Xylos, the overseer of the confluence. Esteemed delegates, Xylos's voice resonated in the minds of all present. We face dire times. The fabric of our galaxy is fraying, torn by forces we do not yet comprehend. Each challenge you face in the coming days will test your species' unique abilities and, we hope, bring us closer to a solution. With a flash of light, holographic displays appeared before each delegation, detailing the first challenge. Aiden's eyes widened as he read the description. Quantum entanglement efficiency. He read aloud, his voice filled with disbelief. We've barely scratched the surface of quantum computing, and they want us to optimize a galactic communication network. Delina furrowed her brow, studying the specifications. It's not just about the tech, Aiden. Look at the energy constraints, the security protocols. This is as much about resource management and systems thinking as it is about quantum physics. Aiden nodded slowly, a plan forming in his mind. You're right. We might not have the most advanced technology, but if there's one thing humans are good at, it's finding creative solutions to complex problems. Over the next several hours, the Earth delegation huddled together, brainstorming ideas. They were acutely aware of the alien delegations around them, some interfacing directly with advanced computers, others entering meditative states to commune with their collective consciousness. Okay, hear me out, said Dr. Lydia Kamau, a systems engineer from Kenya. What if we approach this like a social network instead of a pure communication system? Aiden leaned in, intrigued. Go on. Well, think about it. Human social networks are incredibly efficient at spreading information, even with limited resources. We could design a quantum network to prioritize and propagate the most critical information dynamically, almost like it's going viral across the galaxy. The team's eyes lit up as they began to refine the idea. They worked tirelessly, combining concepts from information theory, social psychology, and network dynamics. As the deadline approached, they submitted their proposal, a unique blend of human ingenuity and the limited quantum principles they understood. To their surprise, their solution scored high marks. While it wasn't the most technologically advanced, the judges praised its innovative approach and adaptability. Earth found itself in the middle of the pack, not a bad showing for the newest members of the galactic community. As the challenges continued, humanity's unconventional approaches began to draw attention. In a planetary terraforming simulation, they proposed a radical biomimicry solution inspired by Earth's extremophile organisms. During a diplomatic role-play scenario, their ability to empathize and find common ground with vastly different species shone through. Not all challenges went smoothly, however. In a test of faster-than-light navigation, Earth's solution was a spectacular failure, nearly causing a simulated collision of galaxy-ending proportions. The delegation spent the next challenge period recovering from their embarrassment. I don't get it. Elena fumed after another middling performance in a xenobiology challenge. We're giving it our all. Why aren't we excelling? Aiden, who had been quietly observing the other delegations, turned to her with a thoughtful expression. I think we're missing something fundamental, General. Look around us. Most species here are working in perfect harmony, their movements synchronized, their thoughts aligned. But us, we argue, we debate, we challenge each other's ideas. Elena raised an eyebrow. And that's a bad thing. No, it's not, Aiden said, a smile spreading across his face. In fact, I think it might be our greatest strength. We just haven't figured out how to harness it properly yet. As if the universe itself was listening, the next challenge was announced. Adaptive problem solving under extreme conditions. The delegations were split into mixed species teams and placed in a highly advanced simulation chamber. Aiden found himself with a group of aliens he'd never encountered before. A crystalline being that communicated through light pulses, a gaseous entity that could reshape its form at will, and a hive mind of tiny insects that acted as one. The simulation began, plunging them into a chaotic scenario. They were on a planet with rapidly shifting conditions. Gravity fluctuated wildly, the atmosphere changed composition every few minutes, and the landscape itself seemed alive and hostile. At first, the team floundered. The crystalline being's logical approaches shattered under the constant changes. The gaseous entity struggled to maintain cohesion. The hive mind, accustomed to perfect internal coordination, found itself overwhelmed by the need for rapid adaptation. Aiden, drawing upon humanity's long history of thriving in adversity, began to coordinate the team in a way his alien companions had never experienced. He encouraged debate, celebrated quick thinking, and fostered an environment where failure was seen as a stepping stone rather than a setback. Krista. He called out to the crystalline being, "Your light pulses, can you use them to stabilize the atmospheric changes?" As Krista began to emit complex patterns of light, Aiden turned to the gaseous entity. "Zephyr, your ability to change shape, can you use it to create temporary structures for us to use as we move?" The hive mind, which had chosen the name Unity, he tasked with information gathering and rapid communication between team members. As the simulation progressed, their teamwork began to shine. They moved through the challenges not with perfect efficiency, but with an adaptability and resilience that was uniquely effective. When one approach failed, they quickly pivoted to another. They learned from each mistake, incorporating those lessons into their next attempt. By the time the simulation ended, Aiden's team had not only survived but thrived, achieving objectives that seemed impossible at the outset. As they emerged from the chamber, they were met with a round of applause from observers. High Arbiter Xylos floated before them, its energy form pulsing with what seemed like excitement. Never in the history of the confluence have we seen such unconventional teamwork. You did not simply overcome the challenges, you redefined how they could be approached. Aiden, still catching his breath, shared a look of bewildered pride with his alien teammates. "We just did what humans do best, I suppose. Adapt, improvise, and overcome." The crystalline being, Krista, chimed in with a series of light pulses that Aiden's translator rendered as, "It was chaotic and unpredictable, and exhilarating. I have never calculated so creatively." Zephyr's gaseous form rippled in agreement. The human's leadership style was most unusual. It encouraged individual thought within a collective framework. Most invigorating. Unity, the hive mind, vibrated with excitement. "We have experienced true diversity of thought. It has expanded our consciousness in ways we never imagined possible." As news of their performance spread, the Earth delegation found themselves the center of attention. Species that had previously dismissed humanity as primitive now sought their insight. Aiden and his team were invited to speak before the entire confluence, sharing their experience and the unique human perspective on problem solving. Admiral Zexera approached Aiden as he left the stage, her tentacles waving in what he now recognized as pride. "It seems my faith in humanity was not misplaced. Dr. Chen, you have given the galaxy much to think about." Aiden smiled, but there was a hint of concern in his eyes. "Thank you, Admiral. But I can't help but wonder, what are these great challenges that the galaxy is facing? How can our chaotic approach help with problems on a cosmic scale?" Zexera's compound eyes seemed to darken. "The challenges we faced here, impressive as they were, are but a prelude, Dr. Chen. The true test still lies ahead. But take heart. Humanity has proven its worth 100 times over. When the time comes, I have no doubt that your species will play a crucial role in safeguarding our galaxy." As Aiden looked out over the assembly of alien beings, all discussing and debating the events of the day, he felt a mix of pride and trepidation. Humanity had taken its first steps onto the galactic stage and had managed not to trip over its own feet. But as Zexera's words echoed in his mind, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The stars visible through the station's vast windows seemed to twinkle with newfound intensity, as if acknowledging humanity's potential. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Aiden knew that humanity's greatest strengths, its diversity, adaptability, and indomitable spirit, would be needed more than ever. As the galactic confluence drew to a close, preparations were already underway for the next phase of humanity's cosmic journey. The galaxy had thrown down the gauntlet, and Earth, in its chaotic, creative, unmistakably human way, was ready to answer the call. The quantum conundrum. The galactic confluence had concluded, but its repercussions echoed across the cosmos. Humanity, once dismissed as a primitive species barely out of its cradle, had proven itself a force to be reckoned with. As the Earth delegation prepared to return home, laden with new knowledge and galactic accolades, an urgent message arrived from the Confederation Council. Aiden, Elena, and Admiral Zexera found themselves ushered into a secure holographic chamber aboard the Celestial Harmony. The air shimmered, and suddenly they were surrounded by the projected forms of the Council's most senior members. High Counselor Vex, a being of swirling plasma contained within an ornate exosuit, spoke first. "Esteemed colleagues, we face a crisis of unprecedented magnitude. The anomaly we've been monitoring in the Andromeda galaxy has evolved." A three-dimensional map of Andromeda materialized in the center of the chamber. At its heart, a writhing mass of darkness pulsed ominously. "What exactly are we looking at?" Elena asked, her military training kicking in as she analyzed the tactical implications. Another counselor, a hyper-intelligent fungal network named Mycos, responded, "We believe it to be a quantum singularity of sorts, but unlike anything we've encountered before, it's consuming reality itself." Aiden felt a chill run down his spine. Consuming reality. What does that even mean? Admiral Zexera's tentacles twisted in agitation. "It means, Dr. Chen, that the very fabric of space-time is unraveling. If unchecked, this anomaly could spread beyond Andromeda, threatening our entire universe." The gravity of the situation settled over the room like a heavy shroud. Humanity had just found its place among the stars, and already the entire cosmos faced extinction. High Counselor Vex continued, "Our best scientists have been working tirelessly to find a solution, but we've hit a wall. Our traditional approaches are proving ineffective, which is why we've decided to bring Earth into our confidence." Belena's eyebrows shot up. "With all due respect, Counselor, we're flattered, but surely there are far more advanced species better equipped to handle this." "Perhaps," Vex conceded, "but your performance at the confluence has shown us that sometimes the most unorthodox approaches yield the best results. We need fresh perspectives, and humanity has proven itself uniquely capable of thinking outside conventional boundaries." As the briefing continued, Aiden's mind raced. The quantum anomaly defied all known laws of physics. It seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously, making it impossible to study or interact with using traditional methods. Every attempt to contain or disperse it had only caused it to grow stronger. "We need a team," Aiden said suddenly, interrupting a technical explanation from one of the counselors. All eyes turned to him. Not just scientists, but a diverse group of human thinkers. Artists, philosophers, engineers, even children. If this anomaly operates outside our understanding of reality, we need to approach it from every angle imaginable. The council members exchanged glances, their alien features impossible to read. Finally, Mycos spoke. "An intriguing proposal, Dr. Chen. Unorthodox, certainly, but these are unorthodox times. You have the council's approval. Assemble your team." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Aiden and Elena, with the help of Admiral Zexera, scoured the Earth for the brightest and most innovative minds. Their selection process raised more than a few eyebrows. Dr. Kira Yoshida, a quantum physicist whose theories were considered too radical by her peers, was an obvious choice. But eyebrows were raised when Aiden insisted on including Zara Okoro, a Nigerian artist known for her mind-bending, reality-warping sculptures. Jin Ho Park, a South Korean video game designer specializing in multi-dimensional puzzles, found himself working alongside Dr. Fatima Al-Rashid, a philosopher whose work focused on the nature of consciousness and reality. Perhaps most controversially, Aiden included 12-year-old Mia Thompson, a prodigy with a knack for seeing patterns where others saw only chaos. As the team assembled aboard a specially outfitted research vessel, the Quantum Voyager, tensions were high. Many of the traditional scientists were skeptical of Aiden's unorthodox choices. With all due respect, Dr. Chen, Dr. Yoshida said during their first briefing, how exactly is an artist supposed to help us with a quantum physics problem? Zara, the artist in question, spoke up before Aiden could respond. The same way the Impressionists helped us see light differently, or how Picasso challenged our perception of space and form. Sometimes, to solve a problem, you need to completely reframe how you see it. Aiden nodded appreciatively. Exactly. We're not just facing a scientific problem. We're facing a problem with reality itself. We need every perspective we can get. As the Quantum Voyager made its way towards Andromeda, the team worked tirelessly. The ship's AI, affectionately named ARAE, Advanced Research Intelligence Assistant, helped coordinate their efforts and simulate various scenarios. Dr. Yoshida and her team of physicists worked on refining their understanding of the anomaly, using the advanced sensors provided by the Galactic Confederation. Jin Ho and Mia collaborated on creating virtual models of the anomaly, trying to gamify the problem to spark new insights. Zara and Fatima engaged in long, philosophical discussions about the nature of reality and perception, their debates often drawing in other team members and leading to unexpected breakthroughs. Weeks turned into months as they approached Andromeda. The anomaly grew larger in their view screens, a swirling vortex of unreality that seemed to hurt the eyes if observed for too long. One day, as the team gathered for their daily briefing, young Mia spoke up. "I had a dream last night," she said, her voice small but clear. The anomaly wasn't destroying reality. It was changing it. Like it was trying to solve a puzzle, but didn't know the rules. The room fell silent. Dr. Yoshida was the first to respond. "That's not entirely inconsistent with our latest readings. We've been detecting patterns in the quantum fluctuations, but they don't match any known natural phenomena." Jin Ho leaned forward, excitement in his eyes. What if we're looking at this all wrong? What if the anomaly isn't a threat, but a player in a game it doesn't understand? A game? Elena asked skeptically. "Think about it," Jin Ho continued. "In games, players often cause chaos when they don't understand the rules or objectives. What if we could communicate with the anomaly, teach it the rules of our reality?" The idea was met with a mix of skepticism and intrigue. But as they discussed it further, connecting it with Dr. Al-Rashid's theories on consciousness and Zara's insights on perception and representation, a plan began to take shape. Over the next few days, the team worked feverishly to develop what they called the reality interface. It was a bizarre amalgamation of cutting-edge quantum technology, artistic visualization techniques, and game design principles. As they made their final approach to the anomaly, Aiden couldn't help but marvel at the sight. The Quantum Voyager, a pinnacle of galactic engineering, now bristled with decidedly human additions. Zara's reality-warping sculptures adorned the hull, designed to help translate human concepts of space and time. The bridge had been reconfigured based on Jin Ho's game interfaces, allowing for more intuitive interaction with the anomaly. "We're entering the anomaly's outer influence," Araya announced, her calm voice belying the gravity of the situation. Aiden took a deep breath. "All right, everyone. This is it. Dr. Yoshida, begin the quantum entanglement sequence. Jinho, Mia, start up the interface. Zara, Fatima, be ready with the conceptual translations. Let's show this anomaly how reality is supposed to work." As they penetrated deeper into the anomaly's field, reality itself seemed to waver. Colors shifted in impossible ways, and team members reported seeing contradictory events occurring simultaneously. "It's like reality is glitching," Maya said, her young voice filled with equal parts fear and wonder. Dr. Yoshida's hands flew over her console. "The entanglement is holding, but barely. Whatever this thing is, it's rewriting the laws of physics faster than we can compensate." "Jinho, Mia," Aiden called out, fighting against a wave of nausea as reality flickered around him. "Engage the game interface. Let's see if we can get its attention." The main view screen came to life, displaying a dizzying array of shapes, colors, and symbols. To most of the crew, it looked like beautiful but meaningless chaos. But to Jinho and Mia, patterns began to emerge. "There," Mia shouted, pointing at a recurring sequence of symbols. "It's repeating that pattern. I think it's trying to communicate." Jinho nodded excitedly. "She's right. It's like it's asking us how to play." "Zara, Fatima," Aiden said, turning to the artist and philosopher, "this is where you come in. We need to explain our reality in a way it can understand." What followed was perhaps the strangest conversation in the history of the universe. Through a combination of quantum pulses, visual symbols, and conceptual metaphors, the human team attempted to convey the fundamental principles of their reality to an entity that existed outside of it. Hours passed, feeling both like minutes and eternities. The anomaly's chaotic effects lessened as it seemed to learn from their interactions. Slowly, impossibly, the swirling vortex of unreality began to stabilize. "It's working," Dr. Yoshida exclaimed, her eyes wide as she read the incoming data. "The quantum fluctuations are harmonizing with our reality's baseline." As the anomaly continued to stabilize, a new pattern emerged on the interface. Jinho gasped. It's thanking us, I think. It's hard to be sure, but the sentiment seems clear." Aiden felt a wave of relief wash over him. "Araya, what's the status of the anomaly?" The A's voice was tinged with what almost sounded like awe. "The anomaly has stabilized, Dr. Chen. It appears to have integrated with our reality without causing further damage. In fact, readings suggest it may now be reinforcing the fabric of space-time in the affected area." A cheer went up from the crew. They had done it. Humanity, with its chaotic creativity and unorthodox approach, had solved a problem that had stumped the greatest minds in the galaxy. As the Quantum Voyager began its journey back to Earth, the team knew that their adventure was far from over. They had made first contact with an entirely new form of existence, one that promised to revolutionize their understanding of the universe. Aiden looked around at his team, the artist, the game designer, the child prodigy, the philosopher, and the quantum physicist, and felt a surge of pride. This diverse group, bringing together the full spectrum of human thought and creativity, had achieved the impossible. "You know," he said, addressing the team, "I think we've just proven that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our scientific knowledge. It's our ability to bring together diverse perspectives, to think creatively, and to find connection even in the most alien of circumstances." As the stars streaked by outside the view screen, Aiden couldn't help but wonder what other cosmic mysteries awaited humanity. They had taken their first steps into a larger universe, and those steps had been uniquely, beautifully human. The galaxy, it seemed, would never be the same, and neither would humanity. Cosmic reverberations. The return of the Quantum Voyager to Earth was met with a mixture of celebration and trepidation. News of the team's success in stabilizing the anomaly had spread quickly through the galactic community, catapulting humanity from curious newcomers to respected problem solvers practically overnight. As the ship docked at the newly constructed terrestrial space elevator in Kenya, Aiden and his team were greeted by a crowd of cheering humans and a delegation of alien diplomats. The air buzzed with excitement and the flashes of countless cameras. Admiral Zexera glided forward, her tentacles forming intricate patterns that Aiden had come to recognize as a gesture of deep respect. Dr. Chen, on behalf of the Galactic Confederation, I extend our profound gratitude. Your team's accomplishment has safeguarded not just our galaxy, but potentially our entire universe. Aiden nodded humbly, acutely aware of the weight of responsibility now resting on humanity's shoulders. Thank you, Admiral. But our work is far from over. We've opened a door to an entirely new form of existence. Now we need to figure out what that means for all of us. The following weeks were a whirlwind of debriefings, scientific conferences, and diplomatic meetings. The team's diverse composition, once viewed with skepticism, was now hailed as a stroke of genius. Leaders from every field clamored to understand how an artist, a game designer, and a child had contributed to solving one of the greatest cosmic threats ever encountered. But as the initial excitement began to wane, new challenges emerged. The stabilized anomaly, now dubbed the Andromeda Confluence by the media, continued to exhibit strange properties. Reports came in of spatial distortions and time dilation effects in nearby systems. Some ships passing too close to the area returned with crews who had experienced years in what felt like days. Moreover, the philosophical and ethical implications of their encounter were staggering. If the anomaly was indeed a form of conscious entity, as their interaction suggested, what were their responsibilities towards it? Had they merely taught it to coexist with their reality, or had they fundamentally altered its nature? These questions and more weighed heavily on Aiden's mind as he sat in a high-level meeting with Earth's leading scientists and policymakers. We need to establish a permanent research station near the confluence, Dr. Yoshida argued, her holographic projection flickering slightly. The potential for scientific breakthroughs is enormous. General Rodriguez, who had been promoted to oversee Earth's new cosmic defense initiative, shook her head. It's too risky. We barely understand this thing. What if it destabilizes again? But that's precisely why we need to study it more closely, Fatima interjected. We have a unique opportunity to expand our understanding of consciousness and reality itself. The debate raged on, with valid points being raised on all sides. Aiden listened intently, struck by how quickly humanity had adapted to discussing cosmic-scale issues. Finally, he spoke up. I think we're approaching this from the wrong angle. We're still thinking of the confluence as something to be studied or defended against, but our interaction with it proved that communication is possible. What if, instead of just observing it, we tried to establish a more permanent dialogue? The room fell silent as the implications of his suggestion sank in. You mean diplomatic relations with a quantum anomaly? One of the politicians asked, his voice a mixture of disbelief and intrigue. Aiden nodded. Exactly. We've already proven that unconventional approaches yield the best results when dealing with the unknown. Why stop now? The idea was met with a mix of excitement and skepticism, but eventually, a plan began to take shape. A joint human-alien expedition would be mounted, combining the most advanced technology the Galactic Confederation had to offer with the uniquely human approach that had proven so successful. Months of preparation followed. The Quantum Voyager was refitted with even more advanced equipment, its systems now a seamless blend of human ingenuity and alien technology. The crew was carefully selected, once again bringing together a diverse range of perspectives and skills. As the day of launch approached, Aiden found himself standing before the United Nations General Assembly, now expanded to include representatives from allied alien species. We stand at a crossroads, he began, his voice carrying across the hushed chamber. For millennia, humanity has looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Now we know that the universe is teeming with life in all its diverse forms, But the Andromeda confluence has shown us that our definition of life and consciousness may be far too limited. He paused, looking out over the sea of faces, human and alien alike. This mission is more than just scientific exploration. It's a journey to expand our understanding of existence itself. We go not just as representatives of Earth or even the Galactic Confederation, but as emissaries of all conscious beings who seek to understand their place in the cosmos. The chamber erupted in applause, a cacophony of human cheers mixing with the various sounds of alien approval. As Aiden stepped down from the podium, he couldn't help but marvel at how far humanity had come in such a short time. The day of launch arrived with little fanfare, a stark contrast to the media frenzy it had surrounded their return months earlier. As the Quantum Voyager prepared to depart, Aiden looked around at his crew. Many familiar faces were present: Dr. Yoshida, Zara, Jin-Ho, and even young Mia, who had insisted on being part of the mission despite her parents' initial reservations. New additions included Dr. Xanth, a crystalline being specializing in extra-dimensional physics, and Zira, a member of a species of natural organic supercomputers who had volunteered to help process the vast amounts of data they expected to encounter. As the ship broke free of Earth's atmosphere, Aiden felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. They were venturing into the unknown, attempting to establish communication with an entity that existed outside their understanding of reality. The journey to Andromeda was long, even with the advanced propulsion systems provided by the Confederation. The crew used the time to refine their theories and prepare for every conceivable scenario. Zara worked on new sculptures and visual representations, attempting to create art that could convey complex, multidimensional concepts. Jin-Ho and Mia collaborated on increasingly sophisticated interface designs, drawing inspiration from the most abstract and mind-bending games in human history. Dr. Yoshida and Dr. Xanth engaged in long debates about the nature of reality, their discussions often veering into realms of theoretical physics that made Aiden's head spin. Zira, meanwhile, worked tirelessly to develop new algorithms for processing and interpreting the confluence's quantum signals. As they approached the Andromeda galaxy, the mood on the ship grew tense. The confluence loomed large on their view screens, a swirling mass of quantum potential that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. "We're picking up signals," Zyra announced, her leaf-like appendages quivering with excitement. "They're unlike anything I've ever processed before. It's as if the confluence is speaking in pure mathematics, but with a grammar we don't yet understand." Aiden took a deep breath. "All right, everyone. This is what we've prepared for. Jin-Ho, Mia, bring the interface online. Zara, stand by with the visual translations. Dr. Yoshida, Dr. Xanth, monitor the quantum fluctuations. Let's say hello." What followed was a communication attempt unlike any in the history of the universe. Through a combination of quantum pulses, multidimensional visualizations, and abstract conceptual frameworks, the team attempted to convey their presence and intentions to the confluence. Hours passed with no discernible response. The crew began to worry that their previous success had been a fluke, a one-time event that couldn't be replicated. Then, just as they were considering a change in approach, the ship's systems came alive with activity. The main view screen filled with a dizzying array of colors and shapes, shifting and morphing in patterns that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "It's responding," Mia shouted, her young face alight with wonder. I think it remembers us." The next few days were a blur of activity as the team worked around the clock to decipher the confluence's communications. Slowly, patterns began to emerge. The entity wasn't just responding to their signals. It was inviting them deeper into its realm. "Item like this," General Rodriguez's voice crackled over the comm system during one of their regular check-ins. "We have no idea what will happen if you enter that thing." Aiden understood her concern, but he also knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. After much debate, a decision was made. A small team would enter the confluence using a specially designed shuttle, while the Quantum Voyager maintained position outside, ready to extract them if necessary. Aiden, Dr. Yoshida, Zara, and Dr. Xanth volunteered for the mission. As they boarded the shuttle, the weight of what they were about to attempt settled over them. They were about to journey into a realm where the very laws of physics might not apply. As the shuttle penetrated the outer layers of the confluence, reality itself seemed to waver. Colors shifted in impossible ways, and space seemed to fold in on itself. Aiden felt as if his consciousness was expanding, touching the edges of something vast and incomprehensible. "My God," Dr. Yoshida whispered, her voice filled with awe. It's beautiful." And it was. Despite the disorientation, there was an underlying harmony to the chaos around them. Patterns emerged and dissolved, each more intricate and meaningful than the last. It was as if they were witnessing the raw building blocks of reality itself. Suddenly, a presence made itself known. It wasn't a voice or an image, but a pure concept that unfurled in their minds. The confluence was welcoming them, expressing curiosity and gratitude for their previous help. What followed was an exchange of ideas and experiences unlike anything they could have imagined. The confluence shared glimpses of other realities, of dimensions beyond their comprehension. In return, the team offered their understanding of their own universe, their hopes, dreams, and fears. As the conversation progressed, a startling truth emerged. The confluence was not a singular entity, but a convergence point for consciousness across multiple realities. It had been drawn to their universe by the unique vibrancy of life and thought it detected, with humanity's chaotic creativity acting as a beacon. The implications were staggering. They weren't just communicating with an alien intelligence. They were touching the very fabric of the multiverse. As their time in the confluence neared its end, the entity left them with a final gift: a deeper understanding of the quantum nature of reality and the interconnectedness of all things. It was knowledge that would take generations to fully unpack and understand, but it held the potential to revolutionize every field of human endeavor. As the shuttle emerged from the confluence, the crew was changed. They had glimpsed wonders beyond imagination and carried with them insights that would reshape humanity's place in the cosmos. Aiden looked at his team, seeing the mix of awe and determination in their eyes. They had achieved more than they had ever dreamed possible, but he knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity's journey among the stars was only just beginning, and the greatest adventures still lay ahead. As the Quantum Voyager began its journey back to Earth, Aiden couldn't help but smile. In the face of cosmic mysteries and challenges beyond comprehension, humanity had proven its worth not through advanced technology or military might, but through creativity, diversity of thought, and an unquenchable thirst for understanding. The universe, it seemed, would never be the same, and neither would humanity.